Welcome to TechShu channel, where we keep you updated with the digital marketing world. This channel will keep you updated with what's happening in the digital marketing world and also will keep you updated with the new frameworks and the whole thinking process of digital marketing, which will help you in doing far better digital marketing. And we want to bring that value back to digital marketing or the respect back to digital marketing. Hope this channel gives you a lot of insights. And as an agency, that's exactly what we work on. As an agency, we are a Google Premier partner, and we bring maturity, clarity, and high performance on the table. And while doing all of these things, we create our own frameworks, our process in thinking. And that's the only reason why anybody should ever go to an agency. If they don't have their own frameworks, the results will never be consistent. And that's what we're working very, very hard. This industry does not have enough frameworks to give you consistent results. And we are in the journey to create more and more frameworks and sharing it with you, so that whether you want to work with an agency or you want to do it yourself, let nobody ever struggle for digital marketing. That's the whole motto. And in TechShu, Shu means reciprocity. Do to others as you would have done for yourself. And with that motto and the passion, we are there to help you. And we hope that every update on these channels adds value to your business. Whenever we get an interesting topic during our discussion, we'll try to put that under Ask TechShu series. So in recent conversation, we were discussing about how to look at different agencies, different teams working on the same digital marketing pie. Who does what, why it should be done. Though we have taken a very detailed session on different teams that needs to come together to make digital marketing successful, and on a minimum you require 4 teams to come together to make digital marketing successful. And we have given detailed description whether it can be one team doing 4 activities, 4 team doing 4 activities. That's the minimum that you require. And what happens when you have multiple teams, multiple agencies working on it. So we'll share the link of the detailed video in the description. But today, just giving a quick brief about when you look at digital marketing, these are the following tracks. One track is lead generation and sales. So, lead generation and sales is primarily from paid advertisement. The paid advertisement, low hanging, non-paid activities, which is more short-term lead generation, short-term sales generation is what we are talking about. And short-term means within 3 months, within 6 months, within 1 year at the max. Not going beyond 1 year is short-term. So that's one track. The second track is brand building exercise, whether you are doing brand recall building, brand positioning, anything where and later when people think about a category, they remember your name and they are inspired to come and transact with you. So that is the goal of brand in a business growth. Or your brand is an aspirational brand where you are able to charge a premium and still you are able to grow the business. So that's the role that the brand is supposed to play in a business growth. So there, under this, various campaigns, various activities, media buying, etc., all of those things will come into the picture. But real goal of that track is to come up with that communication which the world is supposed to know, selecting the audience which where you want to build the brand. So there are a lot of activities, and again within that activity, media planning can be one part of it, where a team who understand digital media very well can plan the media very, very well. Otherwise, the impressions, the reach, etc., has no meaning if your right audience is not reaching with the right cost, with the right frequency, and if you do not have the right KPI to measure whether your brand is growing or not. In fact, in some of the cases, we will be able to show you that how we look at passive KPIs and how we can look at survey based active KPIs and look at the growth of a brand in various perspectives. And everything may not be 100% accurate, but it gives you an indication, and also it gives you the progressive growth. If you have done a campaign and if it is expected to be getting a result in 3 months, 6 months, all of those things can be tracked from a real business growth perspective as well. But that's a second track. one is lead generation and sales from a short term perspective as a track. Second is branding as a track. The third is either social media can come under a branding aspect of it, or sometimes social media comes as a part of hygiene, where you need to balance the brand hygiene. Also, you need to make sure that it is reaching out to the right people in terms of boosting and posting and etc. So if it is under hygiene, it can be done by anyone, because hygiene is just to maintain the sanity of the brand, that you are active, you're not dead, and keep posting something which is in line with what the brand stands for. But you don't have to be under a campaign and things like that. And for many of the businesses which are high consideration businesses, where a lot of decisions are taken within a week and people don't want to follow you for life, if they and they don't want to get piecemeal information, so their social media can remain as hygiene. And again, it's a business call. If you don't want to make social media as a hygiene, then you'll have to go to the next layer, which is a utility layer, which is a regular use. For example, if you are selling a door, paint, or any of this activity, so nobody wants to spend more than a week time to understand anything to do with home utility related things. But the next level is home decor, home improvement, so that people can consume every day. If not every day, at least every week they can consume, and that is good for social media. But if you just talk about one component, whether it's a cement brick, even closer to things like paint or tiles or any of that, nobody will like to consume that more than a certain period of time. It can be a week, it can be a month at the max. After that, nobody wants to consume it. So you need to be very clear that what is your business and what role social media is supposed to play, and take a business goal. But if you want to go to a above layer, which is not your product layer, but it's a industries category layer, then you'll have to invest into content which is not about your product but about your industry category. So a lot of things needs to be invested. If you don't invest and you want to do that, then it's a you'll not be able to get the right type of a return. And again, I'm not talking from your likes, shares, etc. None of that has any meaning unless that is giving you any business level growth, a significant business level growth. Otherwise, it's from a feel good factor. A lot of things can be done. That's the reason that I call social media the cancer of digital marketing, because a lot of people don't invest into this thinking about the business growth, but they invest too much into it, and end of the day that sucks up not only the budget. Budget wise, sometimes it consumes the less or the lowest, but the time of and the bandwidth of the seniors inside the company, because that's the most expensive thing that any company has, right? So at the client's level, this consumes a lot of time of the seniors. They go through post after post after post, but does this give you that kind of a return from a business level, is a question that you need to ask. And how it is going to give you a business level growth? Is it building the brand? How? All of those things you need to be very very thorough in asking the questions, and can be done very nicely if your sector allows. For example, if I take the same example of cement company, then or a tile company or any of this category, so then in a B2B category, building a brand, building a social media presence, and regularly touch base with them is a fantastic idea, because that's where they will like to consume the content every day, because that's their bread and butter. So they're building a brand, absolutely fantastic. So you use that B2B trade influencer like architect, engineers as a category, and build a a social media presence with them, engage with them regularly. You will have a very good result on the business growth perspective. That's the third track. The fourth track is organic pull, which was previously SEO. Now SEO and utility comes into the picture. And then you have digital infrastructure, which is organic pull, means you are building something which will pull in a long-term perspective. It's mid and long-term perspective. You're investing into something where you saw an opportunity, and because of that investment that you've done on the content, investment that you have done on the asset, it is going to generate the business pull. And then you have digital infrastructure, which is going to balance between brand, lead generation, SEO, social media. Everything is landing on the digital infrastructure, so you need to provide a support at a business level infrastructure, plus innovation from a UI UX perspective, so that the user experience is done better. So we will explain more about it. So these are different tracks. Now different tracks, Will it be managed by one agency, multiple agency? That's the kind of a section that you need to look at from a business perspective. So one is you have an internal team who's responsible for the KPIs. Then you can have consultants who can support you with KPIs and who is guiding the internal team on how to do the internal KPIs. In many large organizations where they have a very large team to take care of, or a mid-level team to take care of, plus they are working with multiple agencies, we play the role of consultants there, and we guide them as well. We don't execute anything for them, but we will uh, build their KPIs, will guide them, will do a lot of activities there. So that's a role that some mature consultants, mature companies can play, where all of these things can be a support to the internal team. But at a digital marketing perspective, so a performance team can take care of the lead generation, the SEO aspect of it, anything which is at a technical level, where analysis, CRO, infrastructure suggestions, what all is required from a conversion rate optimization perspective, SEO perspective, all of those suggestions will be going there. ORM, this is online reputation management, CRO is conversion rate optimization. Then even the brand ad management, because the audience is very well understood by the lead generation team. And if they're mature agency, I'm not talking about any agency which can run just the advertisement, but if they have a business understanding of what audience I want to build, because end of the day that brand is also supposed to generate leads and sales in the long run, online and offline both. And then the ad creation can also be extended from the creative agency. On the right hand side, if you see, you have a creative agency or the communication agency. So the communication agencies are experts in creating a communication around multiple layers. One is at a business level, what position I want to take, what will be my hero message, what will be my core message, etc. And then that becomes the whole brand architecture, that what is it that I want to communicate, what campaigns I want to come up with. So that thought leadership is what you are paying for, because they're very mature, they've done a lot of activities around that. But when it comes to the lead generation, the digital funnel advertisement, often the creative agencies don't think in that way. There are some creative agencies who have extended digital arms who might be able to think in that way. So you can also use a digital agency who understands the funnel and can work very closely with the creative agencies and see what support they can give, and the digital agency can extend. But whatever ads are created by the digital agencies should be always run through the creative agency, because they are the brand authority, and they are the custodians of the brand. So everything needs to be approved by them, either in terms of a guideline or in terms of on a regular basis whenever you do the campaign. So that's how these two teams become the KPI owners. And if the creative agency does a creative but it is not giving the business growth, then the creative agency should go as a support team, not as a KPI team. Support teams are paid less, KPI owners are paid more. So both the digital agency and the creative agency should become a KPI owner in some way. And then you have a lot of support systems, like in terms of short-term activities, whatever you require, and all of those things can remain at a support level. That's how different teams are supposed to come. Who all will be at a KPI ownership is a big decision that you want to take at your level. So I hope this helps you in taking better decision about how to look at team. Happy to have a quick session with you to help you further on the team structures, because that's very critical to get your success. If your teams are not very well aligned, then everybody will blame each other and we don't know who is the owner of the KPI. So KPI ownership has to be very, very well defined. Thank you for listening to today's update. We hope it added some value, and we'll keep coming up with new updates. So stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends. And if you have any other query, if you need any support, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to help in the best possible way. Thank you so much once again, and we look forward for the next section.